the pre-laying consideration of this instrument took place before the committee. And when the minister appeared before the committee, one of the critical issues that we normally want ministers to brief the committee on is the policy rationale, the policy justification for the instrument. We also always want the minister to tell us if the minister is not acting ultra vires the powers conferred on the minister by Parliament under the Substantive Act. And so when the Honorable Minister for Trade and Industry appeared before us, we looked at the Import and Export Act and evaluated the instrument against the powers granted the minister under the Act. And from a legal technical point of view, we came to the conclusion, the entire committee, that the minister had not exceeded his powers under the Act. We also evaluated it against the Constitution and came to a similar conclusion. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Majority Leader is right that the criteria for the committee's work is set out very clearly under Order 166 of our standing orders. We are not the ones who evaluate the proper, or let me put it this way, whether the regulatory policy is sound or not. Whether the regulatory policy is sound is the remit of the Committee on Trade and Industry. Our duty is bounded by Order 166. So when we evaluated the instrument, we came to the conclusion that it is within that remit. Now, did we have any issues with the policy justification? Yes, we had issues, Mr. Speaker. The minister gave two reasons. He gave two rationales. One is that they wanted to conserve foreign exchange and then preserve our balance of payments position. And I asked the minister whether in terms of Article 12 of the General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs, we are within our right in order to do this. And he said yes. I also asked the minister whether his ministry had looked at the WTO agreement on import licensing procedures. And the chief legal officer of the ministry replied that they had done that evaluation and come to the conclusion that it was not in violation of the WTO agreement. Mr. Speaker, I also pointed out to the minister that this is going to affect a lot of stakeholders. And therefore, there was a need for stakeholder reports to be submitted to the committee. As we speak, the committee has not yet received the stakeholders' report. We also raised the issue, and I personally pointed out to the minister, the fact that this instrument could serve as a source of rent-seeking behavior by not the minister in particular, but those in charge of issuing the licenses, the issue of corruption. And for the first time, I pointed out to the minister that there is a report of the Olenu Committee of Inquiry into malpractices and irregularities in import licensing procedures at the same Ministry of Trade. The report is dated 1967. And I also told the minister that it was because of that report that the case of Republic vs. Kenya came before the courts of this country, where corrupt practices relating to import licensing procedures were the subject matter of the prosecution of Mrs. Akenya. And so, Mr. Speaker, I made it abundantly clear that there was a need for us to look at the instrument and modify it in ways that will make sure that these concerns are addressed. The minister and his technical team agree with me. As we speak, Mr. Speaker, the amendments that the committee proposed, especially the substantive ones, for instance, we propose that cement be taken out because we have already addressed the issue of cement in an earlier instrument. And so there was no need for cement to be repeated in this particular instrument. All right? So, Mr. Speaker, we made it very clear that, subject to these amendments, the House could then take a decision as to whether the instrument should be laid. And, Mr. Speaker, it is not it is not within the power of the Committee on Subsidiary Legislation to clear instruments for laying. This is for Mr. Speaker and leadership. So I submitted a comprehensive memo to leadership of the House, that is specifically the minority leader, outlining what we decided as a committee and leaving it to yourself and the leadership to take a decision whether or not this instrument should be laid. So, Mr. Speaker, this is what took place within the committee, and the memo that was submitted to leadership was for their attention and for decision by this honorable House. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to clarify the situation.
Thank you so much for the